springtime in Vermont. It looks beautiful right now. Everything was sparkling with frost when I woke up this morning. I didn't remember that it was April Fool's Day until my teenagers started mournfully describing all the pranks that they were going to play at school that won't be happening. Of course, I knew it was camp. I even had already put on my Camp Nano t-shirt. So, my main concern for this camp is not even the project that I'm working on, but being able to vlog it with my husband working from home and my teenager, taking up a huge amount of space, as teenagers sometimes do, especially the ones that are 6'1". So I will be making an effort, but I may be coming outside to do vlog updates in the cold Vermont spring weather. This is my little setup. But with little ones napping upstairs and my husband working from home in the basement, I'm sharing the main floor with a very distracting teenager. So I don't really have my own space at all. But I know that most people don't right now. And I'm sure I am no more frustrated or crammed in than anyone else. Unfortunately, today was not a good nap day. One not napping at all, one only napping for maybe 45 minutes. So I did not get a whole lot done. I hadn't prepared. Last year I did some fun prepping for April camp videos. I will link to those below. I cleaned my whole house and prepped some meals and I don't even remember what all, but this time that is not at all the case. In fact, since my youngest was born, I don't know that I'll ever really clean my house again. So I hadn't even done any bullet journal spreads for tracking or motivation or even keeping track of what day it is. So I did that and I got started reading my manuscript from last April's camp. I wrote 50K last April and then finished the manuscript in May and June. It is 97,633 words, I think, or it was. And my goal is to cut it down to 80 on the first read through. I am not at all sure I'm going to be able to do that, which is bad news and good news. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. There wasn't as much extraneous garbage, at least in the very beginning, the bit that I read today. The POV character is really voicey. I don't want to cut too much from her. And there's another sort of long-winded character, her great-grandmother, who she isn't in a whole lot of scenes. She's not on the page a ton. But when she is, she has a tendency to tell a long story or something. And I'm really enjoying reading her bits. So it's not as bad as I thought it would be, which is great. But I'm also struggling to know what to cut. And I feel like I am pruning smaller bits, 3, 4, 5 words here and there, and not able to just whack out chunks of dialogue. Maybe there will be more of that later on. At the beginning, the main character is mostly with her best friend and her family, and there will be a lot more interactions with a group of teenagers later on that I feel like have more of this extraneous dialogue. At any rate, I'm glad it's not too bad so far. I wish I'd gotten more done today. So maybe I will try to get a little more done in the evening if everyone goes to bed properly, which hopefully they will. They should, right, after not napping. It is the 3rd now. Yesterday was kind of amazing because the baby slept pretty much the whole time that my 2 middle kids were napping. It was fantastic. So I did get to spend some more time on my read through. I continue to try to trim. I'm not cutting as much as I thought I needed to, as I hoped to. I have read through about 15K of it and only cut about 500 words. It's slower than I thought in places where, in order to cut, I'm rephrasing, or where I have used a few different similes, one after the other, describing the same thing, and have to choose which one I want to keep, things like that. But I'm reading through it pretty quickly and not cutting that much. I feel like I set my goal the wrong way. So I set it for 80K, as in I would like to keep 80K of these words, which leaves me winning sooner the more I fail. I'll hit 80K regardless if I don't cut enough. I feel like I should have set a goal of words cut, but I didn't, and I don't know how to undo what I have reported in for the last couple of days. So it is what it is. At least I'm working on a project. My baby is not yet 2 months old, and I'm finding time to keep working on my writing. So that was my main goal. I am achieving that at least. Late night update, still the third. I have now made it through 20,000. A little over 20,000 words, fifth of the manuscript, and have cut not quite 1,000 words. At this rate, I'll be lucky if I manage to cut 5,000 words and not the 17,000 I was hoping to cut. Not sure what to do. Think I should maybe have just read the whole thing through first so I could figure out whole scenes. I'm doing kind of a micro trimming. It maybe needed a macro pass. Maybe I will try to do a second pass this month, since I seem to be going through it really quickly. I don't know, but I'm tired. On the whole, I continue to be entertained by it. So that I'm going with, that's the most important thing, and I'm glad about that. Today is the 4th, and while it was nap time, my husband took my teenager out doing the safest thing you can do outside of the house, which is stay in the car. My teenager has a permit but not yet a license, so driving lesson. And the other 3 all slept. So I had this little window. It was only an hour and a half. And I didn't work on my project. I decided to indulge myself and just read. I did some reading for a critique partner and some just reading a book and reading the Dexter books by Jeff Lindsay. So maybe we'll get to some revision, some reading, some trying to cut down on words later this evening. But it was nice to have a little peace and quiet. Stayed up late, read through more than 6,000 words, cut less than 300. But at least I will be able to update the Nano site and keep getting my badges. It is the 6th now. I have been working on it yesterday and today. I went through fewer words, but was able to cut a higher percentage of them. I'm not sure if that's because I was taking it more slowly and doing less ultimately, or how much it was that I was actually getting worse. So I am up past 32K and I have only cut 1,500 and some words, so nowhere near what I was hoping to do, but cutting unnecessary words. I've also found a couple of glaring inconsistencies, glaring when I'm reading through it so quickly. And although I'm not trying to fix those at this point, I am making note of them and going to sort of do a little roundup at the end and clean up those things that will be really quick and straightforward, like two very minor side characters being named Jeremy, or myself getting confused about which one was actually Jeremy. Anyway, still working on it. And now it is the 7th. I did do some more today. I have now made it through more than 36,000 words and have cut still less than 2,000. Here are some of my thoughts overall for the first week. First and foremost, I am just not going to be able to cut as much as I thought I would. And I'm a little frustrated with that. But I think mostly it's okay with me because it is fun to read. It is a salvageable book, I believe. And I am really glad about that. I also think I may be able to do some macro cutting later, combining scenes or just cutting whole things out once I've read through it all and see what is or isn't essential. Also, I would have to say that my tracking method is way too complicated. I'm trying to track how much I have read through each day, how much that makes for the total that I've read through, how many words I've cut each day, how many words I've cut total, and how much shorter it has gotten overall. So, trying to keep track of too many numbers and think it was a pretty silly way to do it. All in all, most importantly, I have worked on it every single day this week, which is a huge accomplishment for extremely obvious reasons. And I'm just going to be happy with that. If I can carry on working on it a bit every day, I'm going to be satisfied. So until next time, I am Moon Petrie. I hope you and yours are hunkered down and healthy, and that camp is providing some much needed entertainment at this time.